Hey guys, my name's Charlie Wackley, I'm a Scientologist, and today we're going to be talking about targets and goals and how to make your dreams become a reality. Today we have a special guest speaker all the way from the United States of America. His name's Sage, and amongst many talents, he's a trained and qualified business consultant. So without further ado, hope you guys enjoy the talk. Sage.
Hey guys, I'm Sage Epic, and today I'm going to talk to you about targets and goals from the Scientology Handbook. So Charlie wanted me to go over this. Looks like he's helping a lot of people with this data. And specifically in this chapter, we're going over targets and goals. And I want to read a little section for you. The achievement of one's goals, no matter how large or small the endeavor, relies on goals, purposes, and activities being aligned and organized. A goal is not something that one decides upon, which then miraculously comes to fruition, just because one decided it would. The attainment of a goal necessitates that certain actions be carried out in the real world, which affect some change for the better and a step closer toward its accomplishment. So, the tool we have for achieving these goals is the admin scale, or the administrative scale. So, the administrative scale is what we're going to go over today, and I'm going to break down all the parts that are involved in it and show you with examples how it brings everything you're trying to do in line with each other, gets them in alignment so that your goal can be achieved in a much faster, efficient, and powerful way. So, we're going to start here. So an admin scale is made up of 10 different parts. First, you have goals, then you have purposes, policy, plans, programs, projects, orders, ideal scenes, statistics, and valuable final products. All right, and I'm going to go over each one of these with you right now. So first, we have goals. A goal is a known objective toward which actions are directed with the purpose of achieving that end. All right, so good. Let's come up with some examples for goals that we're going to use for the remainder of this video. So we can have a business goal, which is to have your business be the best in the state, all right, the most successful business in this state. We'll take another goal that would be on a family base, which would be to have a thriving family. And then we can have another goal, which would be to, get into really good shape. That'd be for yourself. Okay, good. So those are our three goals. Now, next we have purposes. So a purpose is a lesser goal applying to specific activities or subjects. It often expresses future intentions. So, with what is said here, a purpose is a lesser goal applying to specific activities or subjects. So let's take the goal of having a great body, right? Getting your body healthy and in shape. So a purpose of that is, remember, you have a specific idea of how you want that body. So to one person, he could want to be super muscular and lift 400 pounds. For you, it might be to be very athletic and be able to do front flips in the backyard, right? These are different with different people. So your purposes are lesser goals applying to specific activities or subjects. So if the goal was to have a great and in shape body, one of those purposes could be if you need to lose some weight, you could lose 20 pounds, right? Or be able to run 10 miles, right? These would be lesser goals. They're not as big as the first one, but they apply to specifically, how much endurance you have or how much you weigh, right? For the family example of the goal, which is to have a great family or a thriving family, a lesser goal would be, have an awesome, in my case, wife or, or husband, right? And maybe to have kids, if that's a part of that goal. And then for a business to be best in the state, right, you best would be what? Okay, what specific activities for that? Okay, good. We have the best, the happiest clients after they've worked with us, right? Or that we deliver a product that is extremely amazing and people are wowed by it, right? These are lesser goals that will, in fact, achieve that goal. Okay, good. So next we have policy. And policy consists of the operational rules or guides for the organization which are not subject to change. So a good way that I put policy is, they are the rules that help you get to your goal, right? And we all have these natively. We all have them through life where, don't touch fire. That's not very survival. take care of your body. This is policy. These are things you do to help you achieve the goals in life. So a good way I put it is that it's the borders for your road. If you're following a road to get to the goal, right? You've got these borders to make sure that you stay on that road and you don't go off into the bushes. So the policy keeps you on the most efficient and most, A to B road. All right. So an example of this would be for the body, you'd have the policy of don't eat fast food, or work out every 2 days, or if you can't go to the gym, do something at home. Right. This is policy. It keeps you in line. For a family, it would be the wife is my wife is playful and likes to create things, or we don't get angry at each other and go to bed. We make sure that we fix that before we go to bed. This is policy that helps us achieve that goal. And for the business, many businesses have this, but we only accept cash, credit, or check. We don't accept gold. These are policy to keep you in line. So with all that laid out, now you have a general idea of what you're going for, the different survival routes you're going to take to get there, and then the borders of how far left and right you can go that won't inhibit your achievement of that goal. So now we need some sort of plan, all right? And that's the next step, plans. So a plan is a short range, broad intention, thought up for the handling of a broad area to remedy it or expand it or to obstruct or impede an opposition to expansion. So a plan is, how are we going to get this done, right? Depending on what that goal is. So right here in the first sentence, it says, a short range, broad intention thought up for the handling of a broad area. So short range, right? If we're going to take long range, which would be the goal, right? Known objective. Let's say we're looking at a year. So a plan would be a short range. Okay, in the next 3 months, how are we going to get the first step done, right? How are we going to get this all handled? So let's use the body again for this. So my plan to get, super in shape and very healthy would sound something like this. I'm going to go get a gym membership and figure out a nutrition plan and find out which type of workout is going to get me to my goal. And then put together a schedule so that I follow that plan. All along the way of doing that, I will, keep checking myself that I actually am getting stronger and that I'm getting what I want. Basic plan. Good. So for family, right? Let's say we want a thriving family. Okay, good. So plan. How are we going to achieve this? Okay, good. Well, I need to find a wife that I really enjoy hanging out with, who is willing to create a family and do similar things that I'm interested in, so that we don't have, two people living in the same house who don't want the same things. And after we get married and, get everything aligned for ourselves, then we're going to start having children. And in the process of making children, we'll find a home, a base of operations where the family can thrive and do well, and the kids can have enough space to grow up and have fun. Basic plan, right? And then for a business, okay, let's say we want to be best in the state. Let's say the company is a construction company. So right now the construction company has 10 employees. But to be the best in the state, that's a whole state, so we're going to need to get pretty big. So what we're going to do is we're going to build up our sales team so that we get a lot more jobs in, which fund us hiring and taking on new workers, administration, promotion. Once we have all that, then we can start expanding the team, expanding the tools, expanding into different counties. All the while we're doing that, we're going to have a PR plan to make sure that, all the different counties are okay with us working, and we know the different rules and regulations, and et cetera, et cetera. This is the general plan, right? It's very broad. Okay, good. So now you get this general plan. This is where just about everyone gets to. We've got this plan. Good. A, B, C, D, this is how we're going to get it done. Now, each one of those steps in that plan, for instance, let's take the body, you're going to go get a gym membership, find out what the best type of routine is for myself, have a nutritional program, then, start working out, and et cetera, et cetera. Each one of those requires specific steps, right? I could say I'm just going to go out and get a gym membership, but there's actually steps in that we just will do. And if we break them down, we can get a clear idea of how to do them efficiently. So there's my dog over there. That's Maxim. So the next step for that is programs. A program is a series of steps in sequence to carry out a plan. So a program is how you're going to get it done, that specific step of the plan, and in sequence. So not like a to-do list where you write down sort of all the things you have to get done that might be involved in that. You're taking it, from A.1, A.2, A.3, A.4, and then B, right? So good example. Let's use this for the body. So the plan of the body is go to the gym and figure out what type of workout's going to work for me. So if I were to write a program for that, I would write something along the lines of, good, so I'm going to pick a gym that I like based on what I've seen online, and I'm going to drive to that gym. Then I'm going to have an interview with one of the trainers there or the membership officers. And I'm going to tell them exactly what I want, and I'm going to get their recommendation on what I should do to get the goals I want. And then I'm going to analyze what type of workout that is, and is that something enjoyable for me? Is that something I feel I can do? Or is it not the right type of workout that I feel is going to work for my body? And if so, then I'm going to go somewhere else. But if it is correct, good, done. So those 4 or 5 steps would be your program to get that part of the plan done. Now this is a smaller example, so that's relatively easy. So let's go a little bigger. So great. For family, I need to get a wife, right? Okay, you don't really just go out and get a wife. I mean, you can, but there's a few steps in there, right? And it would go something along the lines of this. Remember, in sequence. So good. First, I'm deciding I need to go find a wife, so I should probably go meet people that I'm interested in, right? That fit the category of people that I'm interested in. If I like adventurous people, if I like business people, if I like pet people, I should go to those places and try to meet people, create some sort of communication, and find that person out there. So I would come up with what I want, where I should go, introduce myself to those people, and go out and start talking to them. And then I would probably go on some dates, figure out a little more about that person, let them know what I want, right? And then after they know that, are we in agreement with each other? And now we're dating, let's say. This is a long program. Okay, now we're dating, and now do we want to move in together? And as you can see, these are the sequence of how you would do it. And this is a relatively long step, and that's why you'd write this program, because you want to know, once you finish one, what's really the next one you have to do. You don't want to skip a few steps and then have to backtrack and come back. And I think we've done that occasionally in our lives, and it gets a little chaotic, and that's why this administrative scale really helps streamline our activities. It puts the right focus and priority in line. Okay, good. Now on the business for programs. Okay, great. We're trying to be the best in the state. Our plan was we need to get more clients in so we can increase our revenue, so we can increase our team, so we can handle bigger projects, so that we can become known as the best in the state. So first step, we got to get more business in. So if you run a business or you know what a business is like, you know how this works. This isn't, today we just got 30 jobs in and we'll figure out how it is. There's a sales cycle, there's a promotion cycle, there's a estimate cycle, there's all this in there. So you would write a program. All right, 1, put together a promotion for everyone in the county based on the jobs that we do. 2, blow out that promotion. 3, get all the leads that we got from that. And 4, close them on some sort of deal. Once we hit 50, then let's hire 5 more people, right? Step by step by step by step. Great. So now in those programs, there's certain steps that might be a bit chunky, right? They have a bit more to them than just send out marketing, right? Like there's a lot more to just sending out marketing than just send out marketing, right? So this is where the next step comes in, which is projects. So a project is a sequence of steps written to carry out one step of a program. So a project is a sequence of steps, just like a program, right? But as a program is used to carry out a specific part of the plan, right? Plan, program. A project is a series of steps taken to carry out a part of the program. So that's down here, right? So we'll use the business example on this one real quick. So like I said, we're going to put out marketing. That's the first step of our program. Okay, great. Do we have marketing? Do we need to make marketing? Where are we going to put it out? Who's going to put it out, right? And that's where your project comes into place. And when you have a business, or if you work for a business, you've probably been handed a piece of paper like, all right, here's what you have to get done. So you would put a project together for getting out marketing. That would go something along the lines of, put together some marketing materials, work with a designer, then send that material out to these 3 people who can then start putting it on the website, the social media, posters, ads, etc. Good example for the marriage. You need to go out and meet people. Okay, great. You need to get to know them. Good. So I'm just going to say the program step is get out and know them. That's good, but what do you have to do? Okay, you got to get well dressed. You got to find places that would have the type of people you're looking for that you can get in communication with. You have to then communicate to them. You might have to go back a few times to get it done. So again, it's just a more specific, detailed list in sequence on how to get a step of the program done. And then for working out, same thing. Again, it's a smaller goal, so the whole go to the gym and figure out what program is going to be the best for you. Project, if you were to really narrow that down, you'd say like, all right, get the keys, get in the car, drive to the gym, sign in, and those are needed in certain scenarios, and sometimes we do them automatically, right? All right, good. Now, when you are telling yourself to do one of these steps, this is called an order. Telling yourself or telling somebody else, right? So this is what order says. So an order is a verbal or written direction to carry out a program step or apply general policy. So it's either go to the gym and find out what's the best program for myself. That'd be an order. I would give myself the order to do that, and I would go do it. If I was in a business, to do marketing, right? I would say, go make marketing materials. Here's your order, right? It's also to apply general policy. So remember, the lines that hold in the road, if we had the policy of don't eat fast food, right? I'm out driving and then I see fast food and I'm hungry, I have to give myself the order, okay, don't do that, right? Or if the order is, if the policy is work out at home when I can't make it to the gym, right? I have to, again, give myself the order to do that, or give somebody else the order if it's pertaining to a group subject, a family subject, etc. Great. So next, now that we've got this, we've got goals, we've got purposes, we've got specific ways we're going to get to that goal, we've got the border of how we're going to align everything and make sure we don't cross over this border into something that's not going to help us get the goal. Then we have a general idea of how we're going to do it. Boom. Now we've got, in that general idea, we've broken down the steps into sequences of steps. And then now each little one of those sequences can be broken down even further if it's required, right? And then orders are just the delivery of each one of those steps that they're getting done. Now that we've got all that, you can see we could follow that up, right? It's called the administrative scale. So a scale is something that I'll get you the actual definition right here. So a scale is, one second. Okay, so a scale is a list or, right here, a list or actions that are from order of importance from lowest to highest. That one applies to this. So you are following the scale up through the admin scale to get to a goal, all right? So now that we've got this general idea, it's like we have a ladder we can climb to get to the goal. So something else we're going to need is we're going to need something called an ideal scene. And this is one of the next steps. So an ideal scene expresses what a scene or area ought to be if one has not envisioned an ideal scene with which to compare the existing scene. He will not be able to recognize departures from it. So you have an ideal scene. You've got exactly how you want it to be. And then you've got your existing scene, the way it is, right? So in the case of having a healthy body, right? Healthy, in-fit body, we've got not so healthy, maybe relatively fit or not fit, right? That's the existing scene. And the ideal scene is, yeah, I'm looking good. I'm feeling good. So you can see how these two need to connect and they need to become real together. So the reason you have an ideal scene is you have a general idea of where you're going. You've got the goal. Let's say you're healthy and fit, but you are like super muscular and that's not really what you wanted to be. And technically you're healthy and fit, but you wanted to be able to do flips and look really good and nice and thin, right? So technically the goal would, that sounds like the goal, but if you have the ideal scene, then you can really see, okay, good, that's the type of goal. And that's exactly the way I want it to be achieved or the way I want it to look. So again, examples for the family, a thriving family, example for me is, I want a whole bunch of kids and I want a huge piece of property for them to grow up on and plenty of things that they can do in the woods and create, and have a wife who's super fun, is like my best friend, and is really spunky and does art. Like that's what I like. And for my type of body, I would want very agile and fit and, not necessarily a bodybuilder, right? I need to have this in mind. And then for the business, if we were to, be the best in the state, figured you could be the best business in the state, but, you could be not doing the greatest jobs. You could technically be providing, bad products, but, be the best, right? So your ideal scene would be like, well respected by the community. We're building really nice products. We don't use cheap materials. All of our guys are very respectful when they're on the job site. Like, these are what you need to know so you can also, again, adjust the edges of your road, figure out that you're traveling in the right direction. Okay, good. There's two more here. Statistics. So a statistic is a number or amount compared to an earlier number or amount of the same thing. Statistics refer to the quantity of work done or the value of it. So, ideal scene, existing scene, right? We want to know how well we're getting to that ideal scene. We want to know how quickly we're getting there, if we're doing it correctly. So let's use examples of statistics, right? How could you use them? So for working out, your statistics could be, how much weight have you lost? How much weight can you lift? How quick can you run? How long can you do a workout? How good do you feel in the morning? You could do that. Yeah, you could do that. You'd need to come up with some sort of number phrase for that. But once you have that, then you can gauge if you're on the right road, if you're moving quick enough, if you're going the speed limit that you want for yourself, right? So for a family, statistics could be, number of children had, how many good times I've had with my wife, the increase in income, family household income, so that we can get that piece of property. These are things you track. And for a business, it's, income, marketing, customer service, all the standard business statistics that you would take. The reason you gauge them is so you know if you're doing good or not, because you could have one idea and the reality could be another. Good. And our final one here is valuable final products. So a valuable final product is a product that can be exchanged for the services or goods of the society. So now that we're doing all these things, we should know what the end result is, and not the goal end result, but what are the things we produce that when you add them up, start bringing us closer to that goal. So in the case of working out, really well done workouts would be a valuable final product. I could track that on a stat, right? If I was really sweating and was really sore after, then that, for me, that would be a good, valuable final product in that admin scale. For my family, really good, valuable final product would be like a great family day, or, kids learning something new, or me and my wife, laughing, like a really good laughing fit. Like, this would be the product that I'm trying to get out of achieving this goal. And then for a business, a valuable final product, if we're talking construction, would be homes built, right? Or, apartment buildings renovated, or towers erected, whatever your construction company would do. So now, with all of these, there's a specific thing you got to keep in mind, and that's right here. The scale is worked up and worked down until it is, each item, in full agreement with the remaining items. So the admin scale, when you go through it, you're going to write all these goals and purposes and plans and ideal scenes. You're going to really lay out what you're going for here. But you may find as you're going through it that some things don't align. They kind of clash with each other. So for working out, you could say, goal is to get like super fit and super healthy. And then you have this ideal scene of being like, Arnold Schwarzenegger, huge and muscly and everything. And you might be super strong, but let's say you're taking steroids, right? That's not really healthy, right? In the long term. So those would be clashing with each other. So you need to rearrange it a bit to make it work with the exact goal. And that does not mean that you can't shift the goal, right? It doesn't mean you're stuck to that goal. It might mean you need to shift your goal a little. Maybe it's a little more of this and not this, and that will help a lot with you achieving it. Once you get these in line, everything just starts getting very streamlined. So the skill with which all these items in an activity are aligned and gotten into action is called management. And that's what management is here. So if you can get all this in place, aligned in the right direction, get them done, right? You're a good manager. If you can get them done efficiently, you're a great manager. If you can get them done without bad effects happening at the same time, you're an amazing manager. And this is the tool that you can use in every aspect of your life. in every little part of it and every big part of it for your entire life. You can lock it all into something and know where you're going. And the power that comes with that is incredible. And when you actually can get what you wanted to get, there's nothing like it. So you can do this course in the Scientology Handbook, and there is other data on this as well. You can go to Scientology.org and see what's going on there. And I'm sure that Charlie will post up an admin scale visual, a graphic, so you can see it. I don't expect you to remember each step from the first try. And then if you do want to, you can get the Scientology Handbook, which is the whole one that's going to have everything Charlie was talking about. You can also get these individual packets based on what you want handlings with, and they're great. They're filled with a whole bunch of information on how to do this. And I really hope this helped you guys. And it's really awesome that Charlie is doing this. So talk soon. Hope everything is going well. Again, my name is Sage Epic. Hope you guys have a great one.